Om Shanti, good day. Welcome to this meditation experience. Today we had such an interesting lesson, spiritual lesson, very, very thought-provoking, and found myself after listening to it, this idea that, such a odd world where it takes so much courage to believe in the self. We like to believe in a lot of other things, but this courage to believe in the self, and more importantly, the courage to honor that belief in the self, how I use my time, how I use my thoughts, how I use all my resources. Do they consistently reinforce that I believe in myself? I was reflecting on this in the work I do. There's a colleague, a fellow trainer who has been progressing almost every day posts about their image as their training progresses and the changes in themselves. And it's remarkable because they are dedicating so much time and energy. They're very careful about their diet. They have a very strict schedule of training, like so much investment of resources in transforming this physical package. You probably all started with believing that they could do that. Yes, that's not the point of spirituality, but that we have that capacity. When we decide what is most valuable, we invest an inordinate amount of our time and energy on developing that. So we have the courage to do that. And I invest so much in something that's seemingly invisible because as a spiritual being, I am not physical. There's not going to be any show about any of this. It's going to take incredible honesty. It's going to require letting go of things I'm quite attached to or familiar with. Am I willing to make that kind of investment? So the courage to believe in the self as a soul. If I do, there's incredible returns. It's far more stable investment, far more stable. And I develop a very strong ally, the best ally available, which is God. So let me go inside and check my investment portfolio and see if I have the courage to switch investments and put everything in one basket. Sitting comfortably, experimenting with eyes open in the natural way. I enter my inner world with one thought and begin a conversation with myself. And the topic of conversation is making a smart investment. I look honestly at my current portfolio, how I use my time, how I use my wealth, my money, how I use my thoughts, my energy. Simple question. What percentage of the day do I allocate my resources towards the physical, taking care of the body, keeping a roof over my head? And what percentage of the day do I allocate towards taking care of me, the soul, the spiritual, the invisible? Things like quiet meditation time, reflecting on eternal truths, checking in on what really matters. What's the percentage of my day? Fighting to carve out time for my own spiritual development? Do I have the courage to shift how I use my resources, where I invest those resources? Do I recognize where I get a greater return? I go deep inside, continue the conversation, and think about this relationship between what is temporary, physical, external, and what is eternal, invisible, inside. I've gotten so used to what my physical eyes and science can prove, confirm, and I invest so much time in the overt, the show. But if I'm honest, it's all temporary. It's a very unstable investment. The body can suddenly change. Relationships can suddenly change. Work can suddenly change. And even the possessions, the physical possessions, can change in a second. And yet, I give so much time and energy to things that will come and go at any moment. And I watch the graph of returns, the degree of happiness and peace I experience. I watch it fluctuate wildly up and down as these things come and go. And yet it's so familiar. It's such a deep habit. It's a bit frightening to think of changing investment. I consider the other option, which is completely stable. But I no longer invest so much in that which is temporary and start to explore what is eternal. This timeless, eternal sense of myself. And the one thing that travels with me through time, my character, my personal dignity. How much do I invest in that? Not what I do, but how I be. And knowing that within my character, the most important thing is a pure heart. The purity of the self, that self-respect, that contentment, that freedom from desires and expectations and judgment. There is a surgeon who can fix the heart of a soul, change it from impure or selfish to very pure, bold, content, selfless, beautiful. It is the eternal surgeon, the supreme surgeon, the one who is constantly in that eternal state. It might be a worthwhile investment to seek out that surgeon and develop a relationship with them. Start to explore my connection to God, the one who can do surgery of the heart, the spiritual heart, restore the beauty of the heart. That might be a worthwhile use of my time. And the final thing I might want to explore in this eternal portfolio is my unique part in the world. Am I playing it, or have I betrayed it for a quick game? Imagine a part where all you do is be present. So much easier. Not having to prove, defend, explain, impress, just be present. Create such a beautiful vibration in the world through your presence. Not just a smart investment, but a very enjoyable one. Checking the difference between these two portfolios. The temporary, so much work, so little return, and so unstable. And the eternal, very simple, just 3 aspects, and incredible returns that are so stable, independent of anything going on outside. Of course, the eternal looks more attractive, but do I have the courage to switch? I don't need to answer that in this moment. I can start by experimenting with baby steps. Let me every day carve out just a few more minutes, not just in the morning or evening, but during the day, to check in with myself, nourish and nurture my own being as a soul. It only takes a few seconds, but the return is huge. Starting slowly and patiently to shift to a more powerful investment, one that's in the self. Om Shanti.